Dearly beloved, I have come here today for the purpose of educating the public on what many of you know as the #1 scooter in America. But many of you might know it as the most fussy and problematic scooter in America, and that's the EMOVE cruiser from the VoroMotors company. And here it is in this bright, beautiful orange glow. Now, we are in a graveyard because we are here to represent what would be considered the death of customer service. And by customer service, I mean that the customer is always right, or the customer might have a good point, or the customer perhaps was robbed by this company and is spending more time making videos about the product than actually enjoying the product. Now? Why after all this time talk about VoroMotors? You probably have owned the scooter for about 2 years or a little more. Well, why? Because you have seen in previous videos, not being in a graveyard, but outside of the VoroMotors company in Brooklyn, I've made about 5 different trips to the company just to get this serviced. From the brakes, from the tires, from the motor, from the numerous controllers, from the LCD screen, for the throttle, for whatever you can name it, here it is. Now, why am I educating the public? Why should you know about the issues that you might have when you have VoroMotors? Well, because they've started a new ad campaign again. And just like I was fooled as a customer, you should also know that if you're going to invest in this machine that's going to cost you more than $1,000, you might spend another few $1,000s getting it repaired. Another reason why we're coming to you from this graveyard is because we hope this is not where you end up because you failed to do your research on this company that has an F rating in the Better Business Bureau rating system. That's from customers complaining and not reaching a resolution with the company, faulty parts. Just go to it before you buy it. Why? They have this new ad campaign right now that targets new customers. But what they won't let you know, because VoroMotors is the company of hiding their hands and seeking new customers, new dollars, instead of dealing with the customer service that they owe their current customers and their current clients. We want to let you know this is a beautiful machine, but it is faulty. The #1 problem that it's having right now after all these repairs is, I don't know if you can see it where you are, but the tires do not align with the stem, this little flimsy stem that you have here. So what you'll hear a lot of customer service agents for VoroMotors say is, well, you have to be a little bit technical to deal with this product. By a little bit technical, what they're really trying to say is that they do not have a strong customer control department. Their expertise is not customer service. Their expertise is not the skill that you need to put this scooter together and to keep you on the road instead of in the shop. So what they're trying to say is that if you want to stay alive, if you want to keep your knee attached to the rest of your leg, if you want to stay out of the emergency room every day, every night, every morning, you might want to check all the nuts, all the bolts, all the screws, the brakes that we have already seen through previous videos have snapped off just from simple use, the brake pads that some people have to replace every other week. You might have to check this flimsy flashlight in the front that if you don't tighten it, it will just spin around and will interfere with the tire. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to keep you out of the graveyard. We already have enough people here. And now when you cut corners, you get something like what happened earlier this week with the submersible that was found days later under the water. But they had a record, they had their own record of faulty equipment, of hiding things from the public, of hiding things from new customers. They even had an advertisement while they were looking for it for new pilots for their submersibles, because they couldn't find the old one because it was somewhere in the bottom of the ocean. Now, you might think it's a beautiful day, I'm going to go out there and have a good time, and then you'll see, oh no, my tire is not aligned with the stem like it is here. So what you have to do is play with it a little bit and then tighten it. What you really have to do is carry pliers with you wherever you go, because this is not an absolute fix. You have to untighten it here so this goes all the way down. Why haven't I done that yet? Because I want you to understand this is the way they gave it to me after having it in their possession for more than a month. So that's something you want to keep in mind. The other thing you want to keep in mind if you have this type of motor vehicle, don't get it twisted, it's not a toy. It will go fast. It won't go as fast as they say it will. It'll tap out a little bit at 26 miles per hour if you are going on a flat level. Going downhill, you could get up to 30, but it doesn't reach the 30 miles per hour that they promise, or the 62-mile range that they promise. Let's get away from that. That's just for marketing. That's for new customers. That anybody who owns one of these knows that that's not possible. Now, why you want to travel with pliers? Because every speed bump, things will become loose, and every speed bump, this stem, you'll see it will start going down, and before you know it, you'll look like one of those old-fashioned cartoons where you're in some kind of a circus. So every light, you're going to be doing that. And another reason that it doesn't bother me that it doesn't go 30 miles per hour like they promised is because with all the things that could go wrong with this scooter, you don't want to be at a high speed when you are racing and when you're trying to stop, because you're racing against an oncoming car, a tree, or a pothole at night. And by the way, just for your own safety, if you're going to be riding this at night, get an extra light. This little light in the bottom is not going to do much. I know it's daytime now, you really can't see it, but it's not going to do you any good. The one good thing about this is the horn. It's kind of loud, right? It's right under the light. So if you have it on, switch it on, you can hear the horn, and there it is. That's the horn. But that's the one thing I think they put a little bit of effort into. They didn't put much effort into the suspension, so you're going to notice that you will feel a lot of the bumps. I say this because if you have leg issues, if you have ankle issues, if you have plantar fasciitis in the bottom of your feet, you're going to feel it just being standing for a long time. You're going to feel the electromagnetic activity flowing up your leg if you're standing on this. This is from my own research, and this is from my own experience using this. Things that you won't encounter if you use a much simpler and a much cheaper scooter like the Segway Max, the Ninebot Segway Max. Another thing you're going to notice about this is that if you're one of the first two generations of these scooters, that they're going to make a lot of promises and a lot of discounts for future innovations, for future scooters, future models, but they'll take that back, they'll forget it, like they did me. The controller that was changed more than 3 times, they finally got one that works, was promised that they were going to change it at no cost. And when I finally went to the office, because they got the new ones in, they didn't let me know that they got the new ones in like they said they would. They took my number for no reason, in other words. They don't remember that conversation. So whatever they tell you, after they try to fix it and they try to replace it with parts that are refurbished many times, try to get them, have that to you in writing. And I feel bad for the people that work there because I know they need to work. But when they're selling a product that could be dangerous to the public, people have to know about this. And they're not going to be the ones to let you know because they need to work and they need to eat. But they're working for people that cut corners. And before something like this implodes on you, Before something like this takes your life from you, before something like this makes you have a visit to the emergency room, you might want to realize, do I want to buy the scooter? Because they have a strong advertising campaign. The same advertising campaigns that sold this to me on Instagram, on Facebook, and elsewhere. You're going to, or just do a Google search for scooters, and you're going to see that VoroMotors is voted probably by themselves, and you have a lot of their own people answering questions about things that are not working for the scooter on their chat blogs and chat rooms. So be careful with that. Before you do any of that, just know that the people that have been wronged by this company for a product that probably should have been recalled after the first few people started complaining that bolts started to break, wheels started to wobble, that the stem was not sturdy, that it has an extra wiggle to it, if you can see, that you have to fix by untightening the screw, which is counterproductive. You might want to ask yourself, well, I did pay a lot of money for this, but I could have saved a lot of money by going to another company, not Geico, another company that has a better reputation, company that you see that perhaps they don't answer you as fast as you would like to, but it's a sturdy product that they didn't cut corners on bolts, on nuts, and on screws. If a company rather spend 25 cents on a screw instead of 35 cents for one that is stainless steel instead of one that is aluminum and it will snap off while you're riding it, you might want to consider, who is going to miss me when I am in the graveyard? Who is going to miss me when I can no longer ride to that job that my family is depending on? Why did I have to take that? Because right now the advertisement says you can save on gas. You can save on gas by riding this. But the one thing that they won't tell you is, for you to save on gas, you have to get it to work. It has to work for you, because you might end up spending more gas taking this to a mechanic and taking this back home and taking this off to the train and taking this on the bus and taking this onto another car to try to get you out of the jam that you just got yourself in because you decided to save some gas. When it works, and it will work for a long time, especially if they replaced the battery already twice, they might find one that works, that they didn't take off another scooter and put it in this one. Just saying, that's what it looks like they've done. You might want to consider, what are they not telling me? This is the part that a lot of customers don't get to see, right? You go to apply for a new job, it becomes available, but you don't know why the other person left or why the other person decided not to be there with that, why they released the other person. These are the things, these are moments that you have to realize, what am I getting myself into with a company like VoroMotors? Because everyone looks happy in a commercial and an ad riding the scooter, but what they won't tell you is, oh, we just opened a plant in Hawaii and I live in somewhere in South Dakota. How am I going to get it over there when a lot of people don't service the scooter? How am I going to get it back if it doesn't work out, or if they're taking a long time or they're waiting for parts and I've decided to fix it myself? How do I get it back if I have a flat tire and the people near me don't know how to do that? Well, like they tell you in the chat rooms, or the people in the chat rooms many times will tell you, you had to be some kind of a mechanic. Now you tell me this, if you're trying to make it to work on time and you live 15 miles away, right? This pharmacy is 62 miles. If you're up to mile 13 and this breaks down, are you worried about your mechanic skills right then and there? Or do you want to be able to say, yeah, it's going to break down sometimes, very minimally, but I want, for the most part, to know when I put the key in and I turn it on, it's going to work most of the time, just like your automobile, or else you're not saving electricity, and you won't be saving money, and you won't be saving any of the things that you think you're going to be saving just because you purchased this from a place that is advertising themselves. That's the #1 company. But when you do your research yourself, you're going to find out what I'm really saving right now, like we are in doing this video, is someone's life from getting on what can be a possible death trap. And I say that not metaphorically, I say that literally, because you see this front tire over here? If you're in a place that has a lot of potholes, you're going to see that the front wheel might catch and the back will be over your head. And I say that because guess what? I look at the chat rooms and I see the people in the emergency rooms. And I see the people that are now healing or can't go to work now because they've been jammed up because of faulty parts, because parts snap, because it was, or because it, in the light rain, got to the controllers, which is not supposed to, and now they have to get a whole new controller, get a new scooter, fix it themselves, wait for parts that are many times are not even in stock, and you're going to pay more for shipping and handling. They have brakes on there for $7 a piece, and then shipping and handling is about another $13. When you can just get it on Amazon for a lot cheaper. Some of the bolts over here you can get in your hardware store for about 30 cents, but if you need them to send you the exact part, they'll send you the same cheap part that's made of aluminum for about $13 on a 65-cent part. So you have to ask yourself, how does this company really make their money? By using the money of the people, the new customers, and they charge double for this scooter so they can work on newer models, and then you'll get surveys. Well, what do you want in a newer model? We're going to forget about your scooter not working. What do you want in a newer model? Oh, do you want brakes at work? No. What do you want? Suspension? Do you want the scooter to work when it's supposed to? Yeah, I think so. Do you want a key ignition that doesn't break because it's made of the cheapest plastic known to man? Yeah, probably. Do you want a light that people can see even in the dark? Yeah, probably. Do you want to hold on the line for someone who really cares about this call? No, you don't. You don't want to answer numerous surveys because it's not going to help you and your purchase and your scooter. Do I recommend this for children? No. How am I going to recommend this for children if I don't even recommend it for adults? Now, have they made some improvements? Yes. Should they put more testing into it? Yes. Is the new controller a little better? Yes. Are the parts around it still garbage? I think so. I think so. And there's been no talk about that, right? There's been no talk about that. So what I recommend if you have this kind of scooter, get some pliers, get some tool sets, perhaps take some courses down at the local community college, learn how to work the tools that have put this together, because what they tell you is you have to check it yourself all the time because you're pretty much on your own out there. For example, the Segway 9-bot box that they even use for rent when you're doing tours of the city and some major cities, including New York City, those you have to check rarely. Something like this, you should check if you want to stay out of this place that's already overcrowded. You want to check it every single time you ride it. There's nothing about this that feels sturdy. There's nothing about this that feels secure. There's nothing about this that you could think this was made with the customer service, with the customer safety in mind first. What's the first rule of being outside of the woods? Safety first, safety second, and safety third. And you might think it's an afterthought, but as you see, things like what happened in the news with the submersible, with the submarine, well, one thing those people wish they can do now is say, I wish somebody would have told me that this product was trash. I wish I could have read the reports from the gentleman who used to work from the company that was fired, that was telling us, well, maybe this is a bad idea because I cannot trust the pressure to be put on this. Maybe someone should have told me before I got this scooter, as I'm telling you, is that it has a potential to be a death trap. And with something that promises to go 30 miles per hour, do I really want to do that in a crowded city street? They're already telling you that it can get overheated by some of the reports if you go uphill. And they're already telling you if you drive when it's very cold, well, some of the batteries might not last as long. That's what they told me. They couldn't try it when they had it in their possession because they thought that it would not work as it was supposed to. So a company that's telling you this from the beginning is now, they already know they have a problem, but they don't want you to know it. They rather give it back to you with the stem being disaligned, maligned, instead of telling you this has an issue. This right here is not normal. You see this wobble? Look like it's about to break dance. All you need is the boom box and a piece of cardboard in the floor and start doing the head spin. What I will do in honor of VoroMotors, the #1 scooter company in the world, is I am going to have a service I'm going to have a funeral service where I am going to bury all of the parts because there are too many of it. I like to recycle as much as I can, but I think some things are better committed to the earth. So what I'm going to do is find a spot where I can bury the most trusted parts in the number one scooter company in America with an F rating in the Better Business Bureau, and find a spot to them so no one else can access them, and just put it on there, because the advertisements might work on some people. You can buy likes, you can buy publicity, but you can't buy the experience of the people who are riding these scooters that don't work the way they're supposed to every single day. And when you call customer service, and I have the chat logs, I have everything that I need to present to people, just like other people have, online on Facebook, under 2 different groups, the deleted emails, the deleted conversations with customer service, the stipulations that you have to be part of any chat group, saying that you can't talk negatively about the scooter. Now, people are not just going to these chat blogs to talk negatively about the scooters. They want answers, because sitting in the living room or in the garage is something that they paid a lot of money for that they wish they could use. And some people just don't have the time or the energy to just box this up and send it, all 62 pounds of this, via mail. Some people just are retired, just want to ride. Some people just trying to get to work. Some people just trying to make deliveries. Some people just trying to have a good time with their kids. But instead of what they run themselves into is, oh wow, now they returned this back to me with another part not working. Oh, now we might have to pay our mechanics more because we cut corners, and right now they're not doing a good job, because it's not their fault that so many people are bringing back scooters at a rapid rate, and they're paying $37 for expedited service, and they know they can't get to it, but they don't return the money anyway, like it was my experience. So is it about the money, or is it about the principle? Ladies and gentlemen, it's about the principle. It's about your safety. You want to keep your parts unbroken. Do I recommend that if you're going to go past 25 miles per hour for you to use a scooter? Yeah. Is it a helmet? Yes, use a helmet. Yes. Not only if you have kids, not only if you're a kid, yes, use it, because a scooter like this, if you're going high speeds, you might turn the handle one way and the wheels turn the other way because you've failed to check it in the last 48 minutes. So the problem that we're having right now, and something that a lot of people are complaining about, is the stem and the wobble that they really can't do anything about, because even if you take it down there, they'll just say, oh, just untighten the screw that's inside here. Nah, it still doesn't feel secure. If you don't believe it, if you still want to get it, you want to get a cool looking scooter like this one, get an orange one or a purple one or a red one or a blue one from their company. It looks nice, doesn't it? It does. But try some other scooters. My friend said he tried an Inokim. He likes that. And every time that he has a problem, they just send him a new one, a new part. And don't get me wrong, a lot of companies do this. If they don't want to send you a new part, they'll send you a refurbished part or something that someone just returned, and you start seeing cracks and wear. Keep them honest. You as a customer have that power. Keep them honest when it comes to giving you the parts that you need. If you're investing in them, but they don't invest in your service, then what's the use? There's some companies that are better than others. Make sure their parts are made in a place that is known for making these parts, not just, customer service has gone down dramatically in the last few years, and that's because people know that I can just buy another one. No, keep them honest. The Better Business Bureau since last time has not shifted. And you'll see dozens and dozens of people complaining, and that's because they don't realize inside the scooter they have parts that are meant to be serviced, not parts to be used. You can buy a car from 1990 and it will last a lot longer without it being in the shop, unlike this scooter. So that's this scooter today. This is a Sunday day of that's a memorial service for VoroMotors, the #1 scooter company in America. And we say that with a touch of salt, because the #1 scooter company in America doesn't have to pay so much for positive reviews, because the Better Business Bureau record is negative, it's negligible, and is just not good. All right. Happy riding. Be safe out there. Take your tools with you if you're going to have the scooter. Oh, and if you are going to buy this at a rebate, buy it at a rebate. Also do the math as to how much it's going to cost you to have it in and out of the shop. Have that and take that into consideration. You might decide to go with another company, but that's up to you, and that's really up to the customer service team and the owners and the CEOs of VoroMotors. Look, it's wobbling. Okay, may it rest in peace. Bye. Or pieces. All right, bye. Save your pieces. Bye.